What happens when one of the most celebrated Indigenous icons in entertainment history is suddenly accused of building that identity on a lie? For Buffy Sainte-Marie, that question is no longer theoretical, because the fallout from the ancestry controversy surrounding the Oscar-winning singer just escalated again, and now universities are starting to erase honors tied to her legacy. For the first time in years, another major institution has officially distanced itself from Buffy Sainte-Marie. The University of Toronto has now revoked the honorary doctorate it awarded her in 2019, a degree originally meant to recognize her influence in music, activism, and social advocacy. And this is bigger than one university decision, because Buffy Sainte-Marie wasn't just another folk singer. For decades, she was celebrated globally as a groundbreaking Indigenous artist, educator, and activist. She became the first Indigenous person to win an Oscar back in 1983 for co-writing Up Where We Belong. So the questions surrounding her ancestry claims have shaken not only fans, but entire cultural institutions. The controversy exploded after CBC's The Fifth Estate investigation in 2023. The report cited a birth certificate indicating Sainte-Marie was born in Massachusetts to Italian-American parents, directly contradicting years of public biographies that described her as Algonquin, Mi'kmaq, and later Cree. Since then, the pressure has intensified. Last year, Sainte-Marie acknowledged she is an American citizen with a U.S. passport and said she was adopted as a young adult by a Cree family in Saskatchewan. Now universities are responding one by one. Toronto's decision follows Dalhousie University, which also revoked her honorary degree earlier this year after concerns were raised by a Mi'kmaq student. And here's what's raising the stakes even further. Buffy Sainte-Marie has reportedly received around 15 honorary doctorates over the course of her career, meaning this may not be the final institution to reconsider its relationship with her legacy. This situation feels deeply painful because Buffy Sainte-Marie's music and activism meant so much to Indigenous representation in mainstream entertainment. For many fans, this story is not just about one person. It's about trust, identity, and who gets to speak for marginalized communities. This controversy has become much larger than celebrity news. It touches on historical trauma, representation, and a long legacy of Indigenous identity being misunderstood or exploited within North American culture. Critics argue that falsely claiming Indigenous heritage can take visibility, opportunities, and institutional support away from actual Indigenous voices. Supporters of Sainte-Marie, meanwhile, say the situation is more complicated, pointing to adoption, family history, and the emotional impact these investigations have had on her personally. And Sainte-Marie herself has strongly denied intentionally misleading people. She called the CBC investigation traumatizing and unfair, while also accusing her estranged brother, whose claims appeared in the report, of past abuse. That's why this story remains so emotionally charged. Because it's no longer just a factual dispute, it's become a battle over identity, credibility, and legacy itself. And now the stakes are enormous. If more universities revoke honors tied to Buffy Sainte-Marie, it could permanently reshape how history remembers one of folk music's most influential figures. But if future evidence or public opinion shifts in her favor, institutions may face criticism for moving too aggressively before every question was fully resolved. Either way, the conversation around Indigenous identity claims in entertainment has fundamentally changed, and the impact of this controversy will likely be felt for years. So what do you think? Should institutions remove honors when identity claims become disputed, or should an artist's cultural impact stand separately from personal controversy? And where should the line be drawn? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments.